Go right into the mantra.
Okay. The new epoch of the gods. Through the power, force, might, and will of the great nothingness, of the almighty powers of the great nothingness of almighty flow, the great nothingness of infinite Venus, of infinite, endless, limitless, invisible light from which comes the absolute all that was, all that is, and all that is being to becoming realized into realization, actualization, and form as we are now willing commanded to be. Now, being becoming an active force of higher consciousness and an active force of infinite intelligence within us all now, being becoming the great primordial dragon god son Kundalini flames. Now, whirling and ascending up our spines from our root chakras to our central heart chakra and on up to our royal crown chakra, igniting our royal crown chakra, illuminating our first eye, our Lord Aminel Dragra, our hidden priestly grandmaster Magi, dragon god, sign, king and queen, igniting all of the 72 chakras in our first eye, our 72 primordial dragon god, son, kings and queens, in all of our legions of 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 armies 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 of armies. Now, willing all of the forces, all of the elements, all of the essences, all of the powers, and all of the dark matter and dark energy within the absolute all into being and becoming all of our will servants, serving all of our will's objectives, intentions, and desires, crystallizing them all into physical realization, actualization, and form as we are now willing commanded to be. Now, being and becoming an active force and active source of supernal light and supernal energy that we're now using to unlock and activating all of our higher DNA, returning it all back online within us all now through the black dot within our first eye, universe B. Now, increasing the vibratory rate of our entire beingness up higher and higher and higher, changing every atom and subatomic particle of matter within our entire beingness back into a new primordial chaos to order being of higher Manus, the master manifester of all reality and beingness, manifesting into our reality and beingness a new and greater mind connected to Atma, the Most High. Wow, pulling in unlimited supernal light and energy from right out of Atma into our higher and lower Manus and on down into our physical reality, manifesting it here as all of the substance that we all now need to take total control of our reality in this matrix through the knowledge of our true higher and lower inner selves. As we begin to learn how to magnetically reattaching all of our junk DNA or all of our higher DNA back together again, empowered by the supernal light and supernal energy of Atma control through higher Manus to begin phasing in universe B, the world to come, while phasing out universe A, the world being and becoming destroyed now, by raising the vibratory rate up so high until it begins awakening and igniting all of the divine sparks in this matrix, one by one, all going supramental consciousness together, bypassing all of their humanity, completely destroying this illusionary matrix at once, being and becoming pure supernal energy, vibrating higher and higher and higher, being and becoming more massive than the sun until we suck the entire sun and solar system into our supernal darkness and supernal light, collapsing this entire space-time continuum into the supernal energy as it continues to vibrate faster and faster and faster until it implodes and explodes, forming into universe be the world to come on a new earth expressed in its most grandest grace and beauty, in a universe now built on the foundation and fabric of divine love, peace, justice, harmony, and balance, as all of the souls come together to celebrate the great feast and grand festival of the new epoch of the gods. Through the power, force, might, and will of the great nothingness of the almighty powers of the great nothingness of almighty flow. The great nothingness of infinite beingness, of infinite, endless, limitless, invisible life, from which comes the absolute all that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming realized into realization, actualization, and form as we are now willing commanded to be. Abracadabra, ashe.
Presto changeo.
Presto changeo. Oh, libations. Move to the libation page. Okay, libations. The crown chakra day libations. Ain, the nothingness. Ain soft, the infinite. Ain soft or the infinite light. Ashe. Adam Catman. Atikiaman, the ancient of ancient, the most ancient of days, the primordial Christ. Ashe. Atikiaman, the ancient. Ashe. Arikampan, the hidden face. Ashe. Atsilith, the supernal universe manifesting as our holy, divine, infinite, magical names. The cosmic Christ. Ashe. The great abyss of Gnosis, the crown of Zeramp, the small face, the indwelling Christ, the black hole kingdom doth, Ashe. Berea, form, creation, and paradise manifesting as our holy divine, dark archangels and demons, Ashe. Yetzirah, formation manifesting as our holy divine, infinite, magical orders of angels and demons, Ashe. Ashia, the actual physical world in the making, manifesting as a holy, divine, infinite, magical, earthly kingdom, Ashe. Yeshida, the holy, divine spark, manifesting as our holy, divine, infinite, magical will, Ashe. Heya, the holy, divine life force, manifesting as our holy, divine, infinite, magical desire, Ashe. Neshama, our holy, divine, infinite, magical, heavenly king soul, manifesting as our holy, divine, infinite, magical, heavenly thoughts, Ashe. Ruach, our holy, divine, infinite, magical soul, manifesting as our holy, divine, infinite, magical words spoken through us, Ashe. Nephish, our holy, divine, infinite, magical, earthly soul, manifesting into realization, actualization, and form as we are now willing commanded to be, Ashe. Kether, the crown, the supernal crown, Ashe. Hakma, wisdom, the supernal father, Ashe. Ana, understanding and intelligence, the supernal mother, Ashe. Da, the great abyss of Gnosis, Ashe. Hased, mercy, Ashe. Gabora, judgment, Ashe. Tiferet, beauty, Ashe. Netzik, victory, Ashe. Ha, glory, Ashe. Yasad, foundation, Ashe. Malkuth, the kingdom, Ashe. The power, force, might, and will of the great nothingness of the almighty powers of the great nothingness of almighty flow. The primordial cosmic flower constantly blooming the absolute all into being, Ashe. You have anything?
Ashe, Isis, Ashe, Empress, Ashe, Cyrus, Ashe, Destiny, Ashe,
Ashe.
Order our chaos beings,
Ashe.
Ashe, Beyond Gods, Ashe, Ashe, Ma'at, Ashe,
Ashe.
all the gods known and unknown, all the goddesses known and unknown, Ashe.
Ashe.
Go ahead, speak to I'm getting something together right quick. So,
Okay. Well, this moon magic is Using the moon to manifest your reality. Well, I've been doing that, and yes, things are manifesting on a. It's like it's getting faster and faster. The more I do it, the stronger it gets. It's like a storm that comes in waves and waves and waves until it becomes a storm that just keeps coming and coming and coming, that never lets up. So that's where I'm at right now. Mm. Yeah. And so now, Thursday was the new moon. So I'm still doing my ritual for the new moon, and I'll complete it tonight. And this time I expect things to really manifest into that storm that just keeps coming and coming and coming, that doesn't let up in every aspect of my life. Mentally, spiritually, financially, socially, I mean, in every aspect. And it'll grow from there until I don't know. Who knows where this takes me or where it can take us. I believe if we all do this together, we can change this world. We can change this universe. We can change everything. We can change ourselves. And make it better. So did you get that? Did you open up that link I sent you this week? It would have been a video on initiation.
No.
Talks about initiation of the soul. It happens in so many different levels, not just only on the physical, but on the astral, mental, and all into the spiritual realm, which is the Buddhic realm. And it just doesn't happen only in this incarnation. It's a process that's been going on for many incarnations. Actually, it's a process that takes 7 incarnations. And this could be my 7th incarnation, because it talks about the difference between the initiate and the adept. Yeah. When you're going through the initiate stage, the first 3 stages are sort of like the most harmful, or the most critical, most turbulent, because that will be the root chakra, the orange chakra, and the yellow chakra, which is the lower chakra. So the initiation, it happens through the chakras. And each incarnation represents one of the 7 chakras.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you think about that, then it's taking you off of just this earthly plane and 3rd dimension and this particular incarnation, because now you come to the realization that this incarnation is a spin-off of the one before this one, and the one before that one, and the one before that.
Right.
Yeah,
I think
so
it's the result of the true nature of reality, which is multidimensional.
Mm-hmm.
and the alternate existence that represents your totality, the totality of who you actually are.
Hmm.
And like I said, this is like the abyss to humanity.
Yeah. Hmm. And then I didn't send you this other video, but it's on the occult and how the occult, okay, by using the occult, the hidden knowledge, you what would take humanity trillions of years to achieve, you can achieve it in one lifetime.
Right. The hidden knowledge is just latent DNA. It's
Yeah.
genetic memory, right?
Hmm.
Because all the knowledge is already in your genetics.
No shit, because we've been around many times already.
Right. It's just we caught up in the paradigm of the no souls are the young souls that rule over this planet right now.
Yeah, well, that's because they got help from certain a group of entities or lower level deities or wannabe deities that still have some juice, and they used that little juice they had left to try to keep us down long enough to keep us from going to the next level.
But the thing about it is, what they consider advanced technology is really primitive. It's really primitive because the most advanced technology is within all of the knowledge of the universe, or the primal universe, and the technology of the organic world and the spiritual world. And this is high technology. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? What these
Uh-huh.
people are doing at this level is the opposite of high technology.
Well, actually, it's almost the same because it's emulating that, but it's
It's
not.
nowhere near the same. Nowhere
Well,
near.
it's emulating. Well, in the same as it's trying to emulate that.
It's trying to black engineer it, but it's not.
It's not the
It's missing the mark. It's missing the mark all the way, bro.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's missing a whole lot of components, but that's
So
by design.
because what it's beyond material realm technology is what I'm talking about, and they haven't even fully tapped into it. They just coming to realize it, and the stuff that they do know, all they can do is use it to manipulate humanity,
Yeah, yeah, that's all they can do. Is
which
use.
also immediately puts you in a vibration or a state of being where you're not advanced. You're stagnated, thinking you're advancing. You're not
Yeah,
going to advance. We don't
yeah.
understand how much, whenever we put something out in the universe, and how much it comes back to us tenfold. Right? It may not even happen. It may not even happen immediately.
It may not even happen
We
in
looking
this
at
life.
we looking at certain things, and we thinking, oh, it's abundance. It's a sign of progression and things of that nature. But really, it's like, look at the society. It appears they make it appear to still have some viability and some sustainability, right? And it really doesn't. This shit is collapsed. But they play a
Hmm.
very good role in appearances and making things appear to be what it really ain't. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what their main power is. That's what they say. God, the devil rules this planet. He rules through the air, which is, what is the air? Media, propaganda, sending signals in the air that
Hmm.
mess with your subconscious. This is the only power they actually have. Like I said,
Yeah.
they're going to use you against yourself all the time. These are demons. These are principalities. They
No,
don't have. They don't even have a physical flesh to even interact with us in that night. So they have to use beings in the physical to carry out their deeds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I don't think their technology has any is nowhere near the technology I'm referring to when I'm talking about the technology, the spiritual technology. Of course, they are complementary to each other in some senses. If they know how to do it, but they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to.
Well, they want to allow it to happen.
Now it's not even in their energy right now. They all their energy is conflict within. It's all conflict within, so it's going to be conflict without.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
see, you saying that these are demons. These aren't demons. These are archons. These are archons. And archons, they they function on a low level of a low frequency of energy, and they can't take a high level frequency of energy like the love energy or the Christ consciousness. You know, the light consciousness. That shit fucking eats them away. It'll burn them away. They're vampires.
There's no difference between an archon and a demon because they both represent a lower aspect of your energy, and they represent an aspect of who you are, but just a lower vibrational aspect of it. That's actually trying to trying to convince you that your human existence is your end all be all. So that's how they're able to infiltrate you because they think
Mm.
they're making you forget, or they're not making you forget. You already forgot. They're
Yeah.
just fostering that for their benefit.
Well, yes, us forgetting um, who we are enables them to stay in power, to
Through us,
stay in a position. Hmm?
through us, because like I said,
What?
the archons and the demons and the angels and the gods and the whatever in the cosmos is nothing but a byproduct of our energy is within.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, we're all one. Yeah, we're all connected. We're all one.
that's why
So,
mastering over it is not as easy as just saying I command you in the sense of how most people do it arrogantly, right?
hmm.
I'm saying actually knowing the power and manifesting that power in a way that really basically shows that you are mastering over it. It's mastery over it, right? And it's
Well,
mastery over your emotions, mastery over your psychology, mastery over your physical body, cardinal world, mastery over the spiritual world, mastery. If you master all of those realms, this is where the adapt lessons come in. This is where you become an
yeah,
adapt.
yeah. But see, that's not just going to happen. This is something that's been happening, or what our soul's been going through for many, many, many years and through many, many different incarnations as many different versions of itself. This one right here is just one of many. So it's the soul, the manus, the higher manus, the higher spark that's experiencing this. That is gathering all this information through this evolution by sending little tiny aspects of itself into incarnation to bring on the experience. I think I think the soul pretty much it has an incarnation here, an incarnation there. Maybe it might have 7 incarnations at a time. It, who knows? And whichever one figures it out, that's the one it goes with.
When you realize that there is no such thing as time, time is nothing more than a human construct. Then you
Hmm.
know that the soul doesn't even exist in time.
No.
It's beyond time.
Okay. Yeah, this is a hell of a mathematics.
Right, it's the ultimate mathematics.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's beyond this algebra and trigonometry,
Geometry.
right? 3D trigonometry,
Hmm.
4D algebra, that type shit.
Yeah, I think it's beyond mathematics, period. Mathematics is just
It's
something
another
else.
math is just another construct. We can't get caught up in constructs. Math is construct. It's a tool of the mind. It's a mental tool,
Hmm.
just like time.
Hmm.
The immaterial aspect or essence of a human being that which confers individuals and humanity, often considered to be synonymous with the mind or the self.
What's that? What you reading?
I don't think that's the right definition right there. Okay, let's go deeper. Because it has something to do with consciousness. The soul in ancient world was also always associated with psyche. The psyche is always associated with the psyche.
Well, consciousness is just a byproduct of something. Consciousness is just something that happens once the higher self becomes disassociated with the 0 point. I mean, at some point, all of these realms—the physical realm, the etheric realm, the astral realm, the lower mental realms—all of those are going to be dissolved, and we're going to go all the way back up to the higher mental realm, which is Manus, and that's the seat of the soul.
Well, the soul is the primal, the source of the primal mortal energy.
Well, okay.
It's her spark. It's her original. She's the mother of the original spark from which the souls, the divine sparks, derive from.
Well, the 0 point, in the 0 point, I don't think you have souls there. I think it's something else. I think souls are something that is formed when,
Well,
uh,
souls, yeah, you're right, but souls is something that is, uh, from a human perspective, it would refer to a soul. On the other side of on the 0 point, it's not
mhm,
considered a soul because a soul is like a spark, a small sun, so a
mhm,
small sun.
mhm,
It's not on beyond this reality, beyond before the threshold of creation. The soul was nothing more than the primal energies and forces of the universe. These were chaos energies.
mhm,
You know what I'm saying? So the universe, the whole existence, it began with chaos.
mhm. Yeah,
And the soul is a byproduct of that chaos.
yeah.
And that primal force, which is the chaos, primal forces, because the original gods were primal gods, they were chaos gods.
Hmm. But at some point, even they will be dissolved. All of this will be dissolved and go back to, well, what they call the night side of Braun.
Okay, what does that mean? Antimatter?
Possibly. I don't. I don't know how to. I'm not able to explain that at this. I don't have enough information, or I need more information. But I have enough information to
Let me
know.
explain. Let me explain. It's parts of us that's not even never ever discovered by us in other past lives, right? There's parts, so that is missing parts of what we think is known existence. There's a lot of missing parts of that shit that's not known by what we're calling genetic memory or the cosmic knowledge of the cosmos or of knowledge of the universe, right? So when you go into the when you go into the night side of Brahma,
Mm-hmm.
this is like going into the unknown.
Yeah,
It,
the super unknown.
it's the unknown. It doesn't even exist actually, but it's the potential of existence though. You know,
Yeah.
the potential of existence, but it doesn't exist.
But then again, it's the energy source behind existence. Just like the back side of the tree is what's generating the front side of the tree.
Right, because that's why I added the potential. The potential is still there. The energy is still there. Right.
Mm-hmm.
It just it eludes the particular state it was in a particular when you're looking at it from a perspective of being present, right? Present and opposed to
Mm-hmm.
being omnipresent. And I can only explain it to those who understand the state of being omnipresent. Because it's not here nor there, and it
It
simultaneously
exists.
exists here and there.
Yeah, it simultaneously exists in two dimensions at the same time. That's the spirit of God, and that's just something that's going on inside of us. And there are certain
Right. I mean,
aspects of our
that's the layers of the dimensional reality and how basically it's like kind of layered on top of each other. It's like a energetic or vibrational kind of an energetic or vibrational hierarchy, and it's like when you are like most of what we're talking about is spoken from being present.
hmm
What we have to be able to speak from our articulate omnipresence, and once we can able to articulate omnipresence and recognize that two things can exist in one space and be anti or complementary but polar opposites, but they're still meaning they can't, like chaos and order, right? They can't exist together. They can't bleed. Well, sometimes they bleed into each other, which is creating something totally different, right? So, but
That's not like
they can't interact with each other. They
well,
can't
you can
they seemingly can't interact with each other.
you can have a hole or a rip, a tear in space and time, and in that tear, two things can exist. Well, something can exist here and there at the same time because there's a hole.
But once it comes on this side, on the side that it was barter. I mean, it had the veil over or had the barter from. It's become something else. The substance is something else. But when it was on the other side, it was what it was. But when it comes on this side, it's the substance of something else. It's something like similar to how ghosts, right, in this realm are just basically disembodied spirits that didn't recognize they had transitioned, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So something similar to that. You know what I'm saying? When they bleed in, it's going to be something different. You know what I'm saying? From the
Well,
from the matter that it came out of.
yeah, adults.
It's a level of what we're using just matter because that's a reference point to even explain it. It's not matter, but we're using that as a reference point to explain it.
Hmm. Well, matter can exist on many different levels. I mean, you have subatomic matter or subatomic particles. And I mean, light is matter.
Well, I'll look at it like this. Matter is the frequencies interacting with each other. You have a frequency, and there's a frequency being emitted from the all. So when your frequency interact with the all frequency, it collapses. It collapses the molecules. It'd be wavy, but then it collapses into matter.
Mm.
I mean, I wouldn't use the word collapse. I would say it'll form into matter. Just before that harmony frequency, you know how when they put certain vibrations and it takes certain shapes, the whole universe, I mean, the whole earth around us is emitting the vibration. This is why when you see snowflake, they come down in these sacred geometrical shapes and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they are being tuned by this frequency that I call it the morphic field vibration, the morphic
Yeah.
field frequency that we all tuned into, right?
Yeah, water does that. Well,
Yeah,
snow.
yeah, yeah. Water is programmable by these frequencies.
Hmm.
You can literally
Yeah,
program water.
they showed us that in that movie, The Abyss.
Right.
You remember that movie, The Abyss?
Yeah, I remember.
And when the water was like moving around like a beam, the water
Just
was
go to the
taking.
beach. Just go to the beach and meditate on the beach and attempt to control the waves of the water. I've done it before, bro. This shit works.
Hmm.
Shit actually works.
Well, in that case,
Because you
then
can
we can.
actually tap in. You can tap into the resonant frequency of water with your brain. You can tap into the resonant frequency of water with your brain,
Yeah.
and actually, it's not a. See, the thing about it is, people are looking at it as mastery over. It's really mastery over yourself, and as a result, you mastering over the physical realm.
Yeah. But yeah, well, mastering over self is mastery over the elements because what is the self? We are the elements. We are the universe. So mastering over self is mastering over the earth, the universe, everything.
That's literally and figuratively, because we represent every element in the universe is inside of our bodies, or
Yep.
inside of our essence. It's in our essence, right? So we actually have a cosmic, or what they call a quantum entanglement with the rest of the matter of the universe. There's a
Well,
quantum entanglement.
not only that, but the soul's journey down here, it goes through the mineral kingdom, the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, the human kingdom, the angelic kingdom, the God kingdom, and whatever else beyond that.
Right. Look, they showed you a physical result of that with the COVID, right? Because the COVID was also was animal born disease at first.
Hmm.
It didn't affect humans.
Hmm.
Right? This is showing you that these are two different frequencies humans vibrate on and animals vibrate on. Right? This E, this E is nothing more than a frequency. This is why. This is why they are creating what's called a cloud.
Yeah,
The
the
tech,
cloud.
yeah, the cloud, the technocratic cloud that they're creating. Now, put it like this: the ones who claiming themselves to be gods right now are the technocratics.
Yeah.
They thinking they're fit to run everything. This is why they're terraforming the planet. They're putting nanos in the air. They're putting nanos in. They're trying to change humanity into what they see fit or what they design. Right? They're genetically giving people genetic therapy. So that's what the COVID shot is. It's genetic gene therapy. It's not a shot, not a vaccination. So per se. It's gene therapy. This is why a lot of people are getting blood clots because that gene therapy that they're putting into them is actually creating T cells or what they call not T cells, but they're making spike cells, spike proteins. Spike
Uh-huh.
proteins is what spike proteins which the COVID is able to link on to the spike proteins. It's a perfect combination for the that's why everybody who got the shot are more acceptable and they were the ones who were the ones getting sick off the COVID.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The ones who took the
Yeah.
shot were the ones getting the sickness. Why? Because
Yeah.
they're becoming a factory for these um, spike cells,
Disease.
right? That
Uh,
the COVID attaches itself to. Other than that, the COVID it'll just inhabit your body. It doesn't have a host though. All viruses have to have a host. If it doesn't have a host, it's ineffective.
yeah. Yeah. Need a vehicle to attach itself to.
Right, and all viruses are is information that it's trying to upload into another system.
Mm-hmm.
So when you understand this, we going into what is the energy that I was speaking on, and we talking about vibrational. We talking about frequencies. Frequencies are based in numbers, right? You tap into a certain frequency, and you can basically this is what we do in meditation. In meditation, all we're doing is we're tapping into resonant frequencies of whatever we are trying to manifest at the moment. We're trying to tap into the resonant frequency of that possibility. So this is the same thing. This is the same thing they're doing, but they're taking a more direct approach. With magic, we indirect. They're more direct, right?
Yeah.
No, what they're doing, they're more direct in the sense of they're trying to hack the human body to access other divine aspects of the universe because it only can be accessed to us through the divine sparks,
Uh-huh.
right? Other than that, it's like they have a vision of it, they have a glimpse of it, but that's one of their main. This is why they so obsessed with controlling humanity because they're not satisfied with just a glimpse of heaven. They're not satisfied with just a glimpse of heaven. They know they're never going to heaven, but they're trying to steal as much of the light as they possibly can, so they can actually try to
Well,
rule over this. They can rule over this planet with this high technology. Like I said, what they're calling high technology is nothing but low vibrational crap that they're trying to give off, and they trying to send. Like for example, there have been beings that had so-called high technology, right? But they master over themselves. The highest technology you can have is self-mastery, bro, is what I'm trying to tell you. They didn't master over themselves, so all that high technology led them into perpetual cycles of war, destruction, and back into this is all the what before you even can get to evolution, you're gonna have to go through these cycles over and over again. Well, you realize.
yeah. I mean, there was far. I mean, civilizations on this planet, thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of years ago, that was
Mm-hmm.
far more advanced technologically than what we are now. They
Oh, but
had.
there a lot of them still exist today. They're just they're beyond our comprehension right now,
Mm-hmm.
right? They
But
beyond our
they still,
comprehension. They probably exist. They probably exist amongst us right now. It's just beyond our comprehension. And I mean, the rest of humanity. I recognize it. There are whole societies amongst us right now that exist, eludes humanity, and exists right up under our nose.
mm. So when does humanity?
Huh?
Well, I was going to say, when does humanity join these higher societies?
When
But
they evolve. When they evolve. They're amongst us
yeah,
right now. I mean, they're amongst us. It's just they already know humanity is not on the frequency or the higher vibrational frequency that they need to be on in order for them to evolve. Like they know it. They already know what their intent is going to be. Is going to be all some more of this humanity crap, where it's like lower vibrational desires, greed, lust, all this stuff that the Bible warned us again.
and then next thing you know, you'll have some you can say thuggish entities that are a little higher than us will take it upon themselves to come
That's
down
all that
here.
ever happens. You're right. You're right. That's all that ever happens.
Hmm.
A being that really is not on a high level, but it's on a higher level than humanity. So it's like, oh, I can take advantage of humanity,
Hmm. And I can
aka
use them.
the elite, aka the elite, the
The
so-called
what?
elite. I said,
Yeah,
aka the so-called elite.
yeah. So, who aren't not that elite?
Hell no, like I said, they're fooling us to think that they're so advanced in technology. They got all of that shit, the computer and all that shit. That shit is not advanced. This shit is not advanced. Even the quantum computer, that shit is not advanced, bro. This shit is
Mhm.
nothing compared to what we could accomplish on a whole higher frequency.
Yeah,
Nothing. But they
yeah.
already know that we can surpass this. This is why they so fixated on making sure that we don't make it past the threshold of this new vibration, right? If
Yeah,
they can get as many of us to keep on drinking the Kool-Aid, right? They can have
hmm.
melanated energies to interact with divine divinity.
They'll get another 1,000 years.
Yeah, that's it though. It's like their limit. I mean, I don't think they even got that, bro. I don't even think they got that because they're gonna hurry up and this is what they're doing. They're trying to instigate a nuclear war right now, man. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, we're in a path of no return now.
And at the
I
end of the
mean,
day, I already know Russia is wiser than that to let these fools pressure them and get them caught up in their traps because this is Russia has a bigger plan. Y'all, I mean, at the end of the day, y'all, we think Russia is just some collapsed government. That's what people
they
think still, right?
they got resources, and but not only that, but they got okay. They're part of BRICS. BRICS. They
Listen,
have this is the fact that you got a new um, system, a new body of a new economic body on this planet that's now in opposition to the Western economic body.
right.
It's something worse. It's
The thing
inevitable.
about it is that was what's so cold about it is that I don't even think they even paying attention to America, and that was their intention. They already they knew that America was going to take offense to it, but I don't even think they ain't paying attention to America like that. Like, yeah, we ain't doing this about for y'all. Fuck y'all.
Well, they're doing this to get away from our system, to break, to, they see this system falling apart. They see that this system has reached its zenith and it has nowhere to go but down unless it recreates itself again. But in order for that to happen, a whole lot would have to change radically.
Hey man, listen, I root on the bricks, man. I root them on. I like, wow. This is great. This is historic because
Hmm.
they've been economically trying to punk the world for years. For
Yeah.
over hundreds of years, they've been economically trying to make shove the dollar down people's throat and shit.
Well, ever since after we won World War II, or supposedly won World War II, I don't think, I don't know if we really won. I think it was a setup or something. I don't know what's up with that.
Listen, America is the biggest propaganda machine on the planet, bro. You don't know what the freak has been orchestrated. You don't know what the hell they set up to make it appear to be like even it's crazy because to me everything that ever happened to so-called America was
Hmm.
orchestrated from within.
Yeah.
From Pearl Harbor to the Great Depression, all this shit was orchestrated from within.
Yep.
It
Hmm.
wasn't some outside, you know what I'm saying, problems or some unseen circumstances. No, I was all seen. It was all preventable, and they didn't choose to prevent it. Why? Because they already know the American people are they created a system, right, where the information is so compartmentalized where some can happen that was detrimental that affects all of America and shit. And they put a fucking like what happened in Hawaii. They put a media blackout on that what happened out there. Now they
Oh,
ain't saying nothing. Thousands of people died and all that stuff. What we saying? We don't know. We don't know what the hell happened really
yeah.
because
And
once
then
they what they
shit.
want what they want to happen on the planet, they can make it happen whenever they want to happen. What never happened, they can make it never have happened before.
Hmm. Mm. Well, man, the continent of Africa got rocked this month. I mean, you had that big ass earthquake in Morocco, and then you have that fucking, you can't call it a tropical storm, but it was named called Daniel in the Mediterranean. That fucking storm fucked up Bolivia, Greece, Italy, Libya, and some other places. But Libya got it the worst.
Yeah, this is the time on the planet. The planet is giving us hints on migrating out of the areas where we normally inhabited. The planet is trying to tell us this now.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I know this is from the sun. Uh,
Well, this
when
is
when this
ancient
was
knowledge,
going
bro.
on, when
It's
this
in
was
your
going
genetic
on.
memory. It's ancient knowledge. The planet used to always warn us
Yeah, but
before
this is coming from
it
the sun.
so it'll be drastic change. It's moving itself, so it will warn us to say move out of these areas. Literally,
And well, yeah, but it's the sun. It's the sun that's doing this. It's the sun that's causing this. And there's something, those spheres next that have that 28-day orbit around the sun. When they're in a certain position, that's when all these major things happen on Earth. And it was in this position at that period. And we'll see another 28 days from the Morocco earthquake. You're going to see shit. There's probably going to be storm after storm after storm in the Atlantic, or typhoons after typhoons in the Pacific. Volcanoes. Even now, you had the earthquake in Morocco. You had the storm Daniel, and then on top of that, you got Kilauea waking up, erupting too, during the same period. So it has something to do with the sun. It has something to do with this object that's caught in the sun's orbit, and it's causing the sun to become very, 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 very active while it's in a grand solar maximum.
Right. It has something to do with the intensifying of the vibration of this particular cycle that we're in right now. The vibration is so heightened that everything is going to be moving more often now.
And that's controlled by the sun.
Huh?
That's controlled by the sun. Not just this sun, but the sun behind the sun and the sun behind that sun.
Yeah, it's controlled by the vibration, the suns, and the energies of the bodies of all these different bodies out there. We think in their physical. We think in a lot of these places that we call them planet are physical places, when they're actually more like in between worlds, spiritual places.
And they have an effect on us. They have, but they're also inside of us. So it's things being reflected from the inside on the outside.
The thing about it is this whole solar system has engineering. It's been engineered in a certain way. Our ancestors were on that level where they was able to engineer a whole solar system.
Yeah, well, that's what the Book of Genesis was all about. It wasn't about.
We're not necessarily acceptable to it from our higher standpoints of the humanity, because that's why I'm saying we put too much emphasis in our humanity, and that's the problem.
Well, yeah, because especially when based on what Blavatsky learned from the in Tibet, that we've been around this, we've been through this evolution 3 times.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like when the vibration intensified, those who knew where to go and knew where to be, so they can avoid it, so they can transition to the next vibration in a more seemingly like less violent, less chaotic way. Like they both are going to transition in this particular way. You know what I'm saying? They're going to transition in any way. It's going to transition in a very chaotic way. Which both are effective. Both are effective. It just, you know what I'm saying, which one you want to do? You want to do the most peaceful way, or the more chaotic way? You going to transition.
I think you have to do both. I think you have to have a certain amount of souls that leave the natural way through death. And then you have to have some souls that are spared so that way humanity can continue on, and the souls that passed on, they can reincarnate back down.
Well, I'm saying on the other side of when this vibration completely subsides into our new paradigm, it's like we have to recognize that humanity is going to totally change. Humanity is going to be between worlds. It's going to recognize that it can take on spirit form, it can take on life form, it can take on all of the form that it was able to take on in dream and astral projection. You can take that on instantaneously now.
Well, okay, according to Blavatsky in the Sacred Doctrine, this is the 5th sub-race on the fourth or 5th root race. Okay, so we're the 5th sub-race, and there's 7 sub-races. So some of us are a spin-off of the 6th and 7th sub-race while we're down here in the 5th race. In the 5th sub-race.
I think you listen to Madame Blavatsky too much.
Too much.
Madame Blavatsky was nothing more than someone who studied your ancestors and studied your ancient science.
Well, that's why I'm listening. That's what I'm listening for. I'm not listening to her.
The thing about it, she doesn't have. She may have some of the genetic memory, but she doesn't have the totality of the genetic memory like those who have the you know how, because you got the vibrant spirit
you,
on
you're
you.
you're
You got the
you're
vibrant
right.
spirit in your melanin, and she
Yeah,
can't
but
tap
you're
into
right.
it like you can tap into it. So at the end of the
We
day, Madeline Bosky, she can only tell you from her limited perspective. She's melanated too. I'm not taking that away from her. She's melanated. This is why she was able to dig deeper. But you can go deeper than her.
Yeah, you see, the point was that when Blavatsky was doing that, where were we? We were still in. We weren't there. We were in the. We were going through the Gullah Wars, or was in the plantations. Okay, so we weren't even fit to do that, to go over there and get that information. And even Bobby Hemmett said the spirit, our ancestors worked through these other people.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with that. That's why I'm saying this. It's
Okay,
like
so I'm
somebody
aware of
told
that too.
I have to explain this to people all the time where I try to give them the example of how the European government is set up, right? A lot of people looking at that, I'm like, the prophet Noble Drew Ali said, I'm gonna keep the European around long enough just to teach you government, right? They're not
Hmm.
able to reconcile the fact that, okay, we bigger than we precede to go, and they looking at it arrogantly, and I'm like, okay, you got to humble yourself so that you can relearn and tap back into your genetic memory. That's the only way you're going to do it. If you're doing it from an arrogant, you're vibrating an energy that's not going to allow you to get it wholly in totality. In its totality.
Yeah, yeah, you got to come to the realization. Okay, these people are just a prop in our evolution that we need to be at a certain level while we were in our insanity or our old age, our uh, in our what do you call it when you get old?
Elderly, Alzheimer's,
Yeah, when we're going through our elderly stage before we evolve into something else. Yeah, they were here to give us the nourishment that we needed again to get to wake back up and to turn the spark back on. It's not, yeah, of course they're not going to be real friendly about it, but um, it's a process that we have to go through. It's a
well, they
process.
they have been giving custodialship over the ancient knowledge, and their duty, their order. That's why what is Freemasonry? People always talk. They don't even want to talk about it's an order. Who gave the order? Who gave them the order? All of Freemasonry and all of these different
It was
societies
set up
are
by
actually
the
orders. Let me
It was
finish.
set up.
They're
Yeah.
actually orders. All of these different secret societies, they're actually orders. Who gave them
Hmm.
the orders?
More.
Your ancestors, yes. So they're
Hmm.
actually operating in preparedness and really custodialship to relinquish the keys back to us. Right? They're supposed to be relinquishing the keys back, and they are doing it, right? But they're doing it so subtly. But we told them we told them to do everything they're doing, man. We told them to do this. We told them don't just give it to us. Don't just give it to us, right? Give us make it hard for us to get.
Even if you have to go do some of the most.
Bow stuff on because that's a lesson in itself. That was the ultimate lesson that we put them in charge to do it for anyway. We knew they were going to be honorable about it.
Yeah, because we were going to have to go through that. We have to go through that in order to get to the next level. We have to go through this.
Right. So I reiterate this over and over and over again, and everybody keeps saying the same thing I'm saying, right? But they're not going as far as saying that, oh, our ancestors put them up to it, right? Not directly, but indirectly we did.
Mm-hmm. What
We
by becoming
indirectly did. In some instances, if you read the treaties directly too through the treaties.
mm-hmm.
This is why the treaty. I've been studying these treaties, man, and I'm just saying like this, man. I'm gonna keep studying these treaties because I see this is supreme power. Y'all can keep on ignoring it all y'all want. Keep ignoring it. But I'm trying to tell you where your supreme power lies. You are more. You are more. Go read the 1856 treaty, general treaty between Great Britain, Morocco, and Great Britain. Go read that motherfucker and tell me you ain't the superior power over here and dominating over everything. Mind you, we were ruling the seven seas. They had to pay us tribute to even go back and forth across the seven seas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know about that. That's where the word blackmail came from.
Huh?
That's where the word blackmail came from.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, we had control over this shit, so they couldn't go over. They couldn't do it, man. So
Yeah.
they wanted. This is where the Moroccan crisis. It basically evolved and it basically blossomed into what we call the Moroccan crisis 1 and 2, which Moroccan crisis 1 started World War I. It's like so many nuances. It's so many nuances that people are just totally missing. And it's like there were those who were born to fill in those spaces, bro. Right? Even if humanity don't never listen, it was those and that's all I can see right now. I see the answer, but no. Look, how does what do you think it feels like to have the answer, right? That you know definitively, not guessing, not me, like everybody else has been doing for the past 100 years. No, I have the definitive answer, but nobody want to listen.
Well, if you have a definitive answer, then that puts you on a whole different level, whole different playing field.
Huh?
That puts you on a whole different playing field.
But listen, this is not even rocket science. The European is demonstrating what I'm talking about all the time. Look at their government, their structure. I'll talk to a brother the other day. He talking about he's another one of these Moors who got a little bit of information and got arrogant with it instead of doing a whole meditation until it got to the point where it become essence and your essence and shit. No, these people are just running with it immediately and start running with stuff, right? He self-appointed himself to be a counsel to others. And I'm like, first of all, the council only exists within the structure of a government. So if that government doesn't exist, how did you bypass all of the protocols to establish a state and a state government and just call yourself a council? He told me, how could you prove what you're saying? That's what he said to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, open your damn eyes and look at the global political scene. How does every government on the planet operate? Do they operate with people just out anybody in on the street to just I'm a council? Do any other government operate like that?
No, no,
Hell
you're
no,
right.
you gotta go through the reason why Noble Drew Ali said, I'm gonna keep the Europeans here long enough to teach you government, right? Not only because we taught them, but look at how the Europeans established themselves as an independent sovereign. They're not even independent sovereign, right? They're just recognized by other sovereigns as independent and sovereign. Think about what I just said.
Mm-hmm. You're recognized
They're
by
not
others.
necessarily sovereign. They're just recognized by other sovereigns as independent and sovereign. There's a difference. That don't mean they're actually sovereign. No, doesn't mean. And the sovereignty that the United States of America actually have is actually extended sovereignty. Go read the treaty between Britain and United States of America. 1783 treaty between 1783 treaty between Britain and the United States of America. It extended sovereignty to the 13 colonies. How do we know this? How do we know that the 13 colony actually holds the sovereign power, not the Constitution? The Constitution doesn't have the power. Okay? The 13 colonies actually have. There was a case in New York State, New York State, right? Where the military and the state was at odds with each other. With a case between the military and state. Somebody died on a military base or whatever. The military claimed jurisdiction. They say, "No, he died on a military base, so that's military jurisdiction." No, the state of New York said, "No, They went to court about it, right? And it come to find out that the ultimate jurisdiction is based in the charter from the 13 colonies. That has been extended to the 50 states. So the sovereignty of the United States is just borrowed. It's just extended from Britain's sovereignty. Once again, the 1783 treaty between Great Britain and the United States of America. That's where you can read this one. I'm talking Article 1. See, I'm not about to say stuff and I don't got references to this shit. At the end of the day, the power lies for us in reestablishing us a government and constructing that government where it ascends to these Moroccan treaties. Why? Because that's where our power lies. Our power lies in those treaties. We are Moors and we're protected under those treaties. Go study the the 1736 treaty between Morocco and Great Britain. 1736. This is different from the 1856 treaty. These are two different treaties. This is a treaty. Article 4 talks about how a structured government is what can execute the treaty, not individuals. I was talking to the brother the other day. He talking about, I was able to exercise the treaties, and I'm like, there are parts of the treaty that are self-executing, right? Meaning they didn't have to be ratified by both states in order for it to be effective. It can be asserted. But the mass majority of the goddamn treaties is based on council jurisdiction. The council has to assert it. No individual can assert it. Meaning you can't just say I'm a council. You can't just make a claim I'm a council, right? First of all, I was the council the dude who proclaimed I'm a council. I'm a Moorish council. Why? I said the head of state has to appoint a council with the advisory of the Senate. That's how the United States does it, right? It has to be appointed by the. How did you bypass all of that? Because there is no standing Moorish national government. And councils are for international relationships, diplomatic relationships. So how are you claiming to be a council? What other state are you interacting with as a council? Because the council was sent from a state by another state to a state by another state, right?
If you say so.
I don't say so. The Vienna Convention of Council Relationships says it, not me. Okay. I ain't saying nothing. Go study the Vienna Convention of Council Relations. See, and that's the problem. Everybody gonna listen to what I'm saying. They ain't gonna pay. They ain't gonna go look at the shit. You're gonna dismiss it as, that's what you said. Why? Because the European looked so good with his construction. We can't even imagine us having a structured government because we don't even get along with each other enough to even have some national agenda for how we're going to solve any of our problems together as people. We don't even look at ourselves as a people. Stop it, man. The European got it. That's the advantage the European got over us. Because I don't care if they don't get along or shit. They recognize they got to consolidate their power for the greater interest of the whole. We the only freaking idiots that don't get this concept. On some hyper individual bullshit, like what? Oh, so you being a hyper individual is gonna get you where? Oh, I'm gonna be able to live in the suburbs away from you niggas, right? Then you're vulnerable as fuck. If your neighbors want to have a purge, you're done.
Yeah,
because you're by yourself, you idiot.
But our own people purge each other.
But that's only under the spell, bro. We under a major fucking spell right now, and the spell that we're under makes us self-destructive.
Yeah,
it makes us very self-destructive. I can snap us out of it. Not only me, but the powerful ancestral magic can snap them out of it, bro. If they just want to tune in, but they too inundated with the Christian crap. They too inundated with the Christian crap. Like, what does Christianity do to you, right?
It makes you retarded.
Christianity does nothing but nullify your brain to where it nullifies your brain to the point where you're numb brain now. You're like. You can present as much facts as you want to these numb brain people, right? And it does not matter.
It does not. Has no effect on you.
Right, and that's exactly what the church does to you. Like, I was talking to the brother the other day. He's so like I'm trying to explain to him, why are you so animate about convincing me of your beliefs? That's what I'm asking him. I'm like, why are you so animate about convincing me of you? Is it that you're insecure about your belief, that you need somebody to be with you in order for you to feel good?
You need someone else to be dumb enough to believe in the same shit he believes in, so he can feel good about himself, believing in some bullshit that he know ain't true.
Well, at the end of the day, I think they've suspended their logic at that point. So I don't think it's that they know it's not true. I think they suspended their logic. They've suspended their self-development. Everyone has, even the Bible itself says, show yourself approved. Mm-hmm. But these people have ignored. They only fixate on certain. They cherry pick the Bible. They don't deal with it in its totality. But then they want to come at you and try to convince you to do the same thing they're doing. When I'm saying, like, most people come at me with the Bible, you don't even know more about the Bible than I do, bro.
Well, shit, now, man, I be hearing these churches over here, and the preacher, these motherfuckers sound like they're demonically possessed. And it'd be some fucking Christians on the corner with the speakers on, and they just be up there.
Yeah. It is a possession. They talk about possession. They talking about the tongue, talking in tongues.
Yeah.
Right? This is what I'm saying. The underlayer Christianity is demonology. The underlayers of it is demonology. Y'all just and paganism, basically. It's like y'all just take parts of paganism and then y'all put it in your own version to make it, and then you try to ignore. You try to talk bad about the pagans now. All you're doing is paganism. Y'all worship the sun. Y'all worship the sun. Pagans wasn't even worshiping the sun. I ain't gonna even disrespect pagans and say they was worshiping the sun. Y'all worship the sun. y'all practice all of these pagan rituals like eating of the flesh and drinking of the blood, symbolically, whether it's symbolic or whether it's real, it represents the same shit. It's
Yeah.
paganism.
Well,
But then y'all
paganism.
want to talk. Then y'all want to go back and talk about pagans. When you got everything y'all do, it comes from the pagans, dumbasses. Right?
I don't see us going anywhere if we continue to stay in that shit. I don't see us going as a people.
We were conquered by that shit, man. How the fuck is it gonna be any spiritual progression?
Yeah, really. What and these idiots, they fail to realize when you try to bring that to their reality, they do not want to accept that. No, we don't worship that type of Christianity.
First of all, y'all don't even know. We don't worship shit, man. What are you talking about? Worship? We venerate nature.
No, I'm talking about
We recognize the elemental and how it's expressing itself, and we recognize that. That's why I was trying to explain to this idiot, this Hebrew cat. I'm saying, listen, man. What you're doing is you're imposing your views on a group of people that you have no understanding of. He was trying to say the Egyptians did this. I'm saying that's the narrative of the Hebraic narrative. It has to be true in order for the Hebraic narrative to fit in that paradigm, in that energetic narrative that y'all creating. It's a spirit that y'all creating. You're creating a spirit. Y'all have to have been enslaved in Egypt. Y'all had to, and I'm trying to explain to you, it's all symbolic, dumbass. The shit never happened. It's allegory. Even biblical scholars tell y'all dumbass this shit. This shit is not real, it's allegory. Then you got all these people trying to historicalize the Bible.
Then you got this black preacher on there telling everybody that it's not allegorized. There's no metaphysics behind it, that this is true fact. And you got a black preacher teaching black people this shit.
Okay, so metaphysics and occult knowledge is not fact either? What do you mean not fact? That don't even make sense what he said.
I know that there's this black preacher that's poisoning people, teaching against the occult, teaching them against metaphysics, and just demonizing.
They call all that devil worship. They call that all of the devil, of the occult, everything with the occult of the occult. Even though anytime you hear somebody say the occult, they embellish and add stuff to what actually is being expressed in that cult science. They embellish. Oh, it's of the devil. No, like a dude, he told me the other day, astrology is of the devil. I said, how was astrology of the devil? Explain that. How did that happen? I don't get it. You mean studying astrology? He said, when you start, you can study it all you want, but when you start applying it to a science and stuff, that's when it becomes devil worship. How about is a technology that the ancestors used and the ancient ones used to have a grip on? They had a concept that they're used today called dynamic farming, right? Mm-hmm. Our ancestors knew how to look at nature, look at the stars and the planets, and tell how much harvest they were going to have that year.
Yeah,
it's a science.
But see, anything. Okay, this is how fucked up. You ask a Christian, okay, if you put God on one side and you put Satan on the other side, who is the most evil? Who killed the most people? How many people did God kill, and how many people did Satan kill in the Bible?
Right.
God killed everybody.
Yeah, he did.
How many people did Satan kill?
Okay, Satan kills the people too, but not nearly as many as God did.
He killed off, what's his name, family. Was that homeboy that his family died and Satan and God made a bet together?
He ordered the killing of humans after they lost the war between heaven and hell.
No,
So
the story
after
of
they lost the war, listen, after they lost the war between heaven and hell, right? Because the whole point was they were fighting for humanity. They realized that why would we even fight for humanity? And humanity is basically, as a result, not recognizing that we're above them and all that stuff, right? Something like that, right? And they end up turning against humanity then at that point. The demon world or the fallen angels.
So what's the story in the Bible where Satan and God made a bet that one of God's servants would curse him? What was the name of that servant?
Say it again.
God and Satan. Satan made a bet with God that his most favorite servant on earth would curse him if he lose all his riches.
You talking about Peter? Was it Peter? No, not Peter. Paul.
No, in the Old Testament.
Oh, the Old Testament. It was I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about. It was either was it John?
None of them. No, this was somebody else. Okay, you had Jonah in the well, and then you had this other guy. He was rich, and he had family, he had property, and God let Satan take all of that away from him, and let his family die. But God told him, "You can't hurt him." Was it Joel? Yeah, Joel.
Joel.
Joel. Joel.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I think Satan killed his family. Joel. You don't remember the book of Joel?
Yeah, I remember. I know about the book of Joel, but it's like it eludes me right now. It eludes me right now.
Yeah, it was the one where God allowed him to lose everything in his life. First, he had everything good going for him because he loved God and all this shit. And then Satan said the only reason why he loves you because he got it good. You take all of that away from him, he'll curse you in a second.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember it. Yeah, I remember that scripture. I mean that story.
Yeah, I think it was Joe or Joe, one of them. I'm starting to forget all that shit.
Man, but other than that, I forgot more than most will ever know.
Yeah, well, God did more killing in the Bible than Satan could ever imagine.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And I mean, without hands down, he did more killing
without any hesitation.
I mean, because he figured like it's my creation. That's the arrogance he came from. Like it's my creation. This is how you know it was a dollar broth because it's arrogant enough, egotistical enough to feel like it's its creation when really it's a result of a creation, and both were created. The God and the human was created out of that creation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's creation received a divine spark, which makes it another creation.
Right.
Yeah.
Because even look, this is one of the most famous. I don't know if it's Quranic or the Torah, but it was one of my favorite scriptures I've ever heard. It was like man's God is man's ideas. Man's ideas are not the same as yesterday, so man's God changed with his ideas.
Yeah.
Right? And it let me know right there and that no, it was not that there's some divine entity that exists without there being those who created inside of their culture first. They have to anthropomorphize it inside of their culture before it's a simultaneous thing, is what I'm saying. It's like they ask if the God created man or did man create God? It's simultaneous.
Yeah. I think, yeah, which one came first?
Right.
Hmm. Yeah.
So this is the high science we be getting in on this show, man. So you know what I'm saying? I don't think nobody is ever going there. What we say on here, they gonna say we're speaking blasphemy.
Well, I don't. I don't think they're in a position to say that because they have no authority. They have no knowledge. Only
I
they're
mean,
just obedient. They're just obedient robots.
at the end of the day, all those who say that, your preacher or your deacon or everybody at the top of your damn hierarchy of your church, they all got a Masonic ring on. So
Yeah.
if you want to talk about the occult lessons going on, ask them about it. Don't ask us, motherfucker.
Well, that's the biggest cult there is on the planet, Christianity. All of the religions are a cult. They're all a cult.
That's the thing about the church. It's so crazy because that is another way to keep people away from the occult science. Because look, I mean,
Absolutely.
this is so hypocrisy. It's so hypocritical that most of these preachers are actually Masons and they studying occult science, but then they
Mhm.
tell your congregation stay away from that. That's the devil.
Well, yeah, it is for them. Yep, they're right. It is the devil because it cuts into their underlying uh, income. It cuts into their income. Anything that interrupts their income is the devil.
Right.
And in
See,
that sense,
I recently see. And then, Mario, as I grow, I've looked at all of these scriptures not as so much as an authority as it pertains to over my spiritual existence or my the covenant or some side. I looked at it more as um, science or energy, science that's my birthright. It's more my birthright. It's science that's my birthright. You know what I'm saying? More than it's just commandments that we gotta listen to in the commandment. We gotta listen. Now, my thing is the commandments are necessary, but you don't need a commandment to do that. It was already what not to do and what to do already instinctively.
yeah, it's already.
There was need for God to be trying to control and command over you in that nature. It was it was not necessary. And the
Why
whole
would
concept of people imposing that it's a imposition to me. It's like you're imposing upon me by saying that Jesus died for your sins. What the hell he did? No, the hell he
no,
didn't.
no, shit.
No, yeah. Because if you would have asked me, I would have said, man, don't do that shit.
That's
Don't
something
do
wrong up anyway.
that. No,
That's
I don't want it. I don't want it. I'm cool.
that's that's
How the fuck you gonna how the fuck you gonna sacrifice yourself and say I did it for you? Nigga, no the fuck you didn't.
but I'm the son of God. And I died for you.
You're right. You motherfucker. No the fuck you didn't, because if you would have asked me, I would have said no, nigga.
Well, I said, well, you know what? You want to die for me? Knock yourself out, motherfucker. Shit. You gonna be
I
back
would
in
be like,
3 days?
no, don't die for me, nigga. Don't try to act like you're doing it for me. No, don't do it. Don't try to put that in the atmosphere, because then once you put that, that's magic, man. You
Yeah.
understand that? He trying to make you liable for some spiritual bondage and shit. Nah, fuck you. Nah. Don't put me under your spiritual contract, nigga. Fuck you.
Really. I don't even want nothing to do with that shit. Nothing. I'm on my own magical. I'm in my own magic. I'm using my own magic. Okay, I don't need their magic. I'm making my own
Right.
magic.
For real though. Like, nah, I'm cool. I
Yeah.
already committed that I don't even want any of my spiritual influence to even affect, even though it can't, to affect any of my children's life. I want it to be strictly their energy, their destiny that they created for themselves. I don't want to affect it. Meaning,
Yeah.
I don't want to project nothing like, oh, being extra cautious with my children and shit. Now, no, at the end of the day, I tell them stuff. They incorporate it into their essence, and they handle their own destiny in their life, and how they want to take it at. Not at this stage, but when they get, I'm talking about when they get they're older. A lot of parents they cuff their children to they become enabled. They become enabled even on the spiritual level. They don't got no spiritual insight or nothing because y'all are putting them in the church, inhibiting their spiritual abilities,
They turn
and
them
now they're
over to,
just like you, docile, down here worshiping inferior.
and not only that, they don't believe in the shit, and they just go dog. They just go fuck wild, do all kind of crazy shit, shooting, killing, fucking, and sucking, and all, I mean, just all kind of just fucking wild, just real fucking wild. And then go to church and ask the Lord for forgiveness. Okay, then, oh, the Lord forgive me. Now I can go back out there and do it all over again. What the hell? I got this real good contract with Jesus where, I go sin and I come back to him and repent and he'll forgive me.
Hey man, each his own for their so-called salvation, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. They look at it as that's their salvation, so they want to, even though they really phony. Most people are phony about it. It's like if it wasn't dependent on your salvation, would you still be operating in that sense? Then you got an alternative motive. You're not being positive and being good just because you want to be good and positive.
Yeah.
You got alternative motives. Stop it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think you being selfish really because I'm thinking my eternal life. I'm thinking about my eternal life. Even though none of this shit ever happened, so it doesn't even affect your eternal life, you dumbass.
Well,
What actually affects your eternal life? You're ignoring that. You're calling it the devil.
yeah, really, with the knowledge that's going to help you climb up the ladder, you're spitting on that. Yeah, you're calling it the devil, but that's what they've been taught though. They don't know they've been tricked. They're functioning under trigonometry. But
Right.
we all been tricked down here in some aspect.
Look, this is the thing about it, man. You know how they always talk about, oh, you the one that made it. Listen to me. You out of the hundreds of thousands of sperms, you the one made it to the egg. And they call that a victory. They call that a victory, bro.
I mean, I guess in some aspect it was.
I don't see how.
What you see it as?
I see it as you got your soul got trapped again. When it's able to be in omnipresent, it said, oh fuck it, I'll just rather be present.
Well, the soul did choose to come down here to go through this so it can go to a higher level. Because coming down here, going through this is the only way for the soul to go to a higher level.
No, the soul gonna go to a higher level regardless. You know what I'm saying? Humanity is just a part of the soul journey. It's not the soul is gonna go to a higher level though. It's
There's certain things you can't do in the astral realm or in those other realms to enable your soul to go to a higher level. You have to come down here. You have to do it down here. Yeah, it has to be done down here.
No, that's not true. I mean, it may be for you, but I don't know. My experience,
Well,
right?
when
You
I
have to
was
go through
learning,
humanity to evolve your spirit. Your spirit is going to evolve power, period. You don't have to go through
well,
humanity.
yeah, but that can take a long, 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 long time. But
But
coming down here,
it don't matter to
entering
the
down
soul.
here,
You see how
going
you
through
just said? You see how you just said a long, long time? What does that matter to the spirit or to the soul?
that's what?
You see how you said it's a long, long, long time? What does
Yeah.
that matter to the soul? The soul is beyond time. It don't matter. See, that's just that human talking right there. That's the human talking. That's what saying. Oh, you have to go through humanity in order for your spirit to evolve. Oh, you don't. We just choose to go through humanity to go through that part, that particular evolutionary stage.
Mm. Yeah, I heard Bobby Hemmett say that. I mean,
Therein lies the problem. Whoever we look at as an authority, that's what I'm going by. No, looking deep into your spirit, study the deeper science in yourself to interpret it yourself, right? Because at the end of the day, this is how it's supposed to be interpreted, not from somebody else's, whoever else said it.
well,
That's not
in
your
that
experience.
case,
That's Bobby Hemmett's experience. You're telling me Bobby Hemmett's experience. What's Glenn's experience?
no, but, mm. Well, Glenn is down here experiencing this.
You said what?
See, the point, okay, see, the souls down here in the physical world that are going through it have more say so in the spirit world than the other souls that haven't gone through this.
I mean, at the end of the day, the other souls look at it as futureless and senseless, not necessary. It's not even purpose. But it's like from the soul perspective, right? In the soul realm, that even place, that even exists in the first place, and then it's only we have to
Well, you this
articulate it.
is
From that perspective, then humanity basically is like a quick way to do it. To go through the cocoon stage, and it's like a quicker way to do it. Like you said, it takes more on the spiritual, because on the soul plane, like I said, it's not present. So you have to go through a stage of presence in order for you to recognize that I'm omnipresent. Why am I present? Why am I present? I can be omnipresent. That's part of the evolution itself, just recognizing, damn, why did I go back into fucking, why do I go back into a cave of my soul or a cage of my soul? Why did I put my soul into prison? That's part of the evolution. Why did I do that? Why did I decide to do that? Okay, so it has to be some within incorrection or
from what I
imperfection
understand,
in the soul.
incarnation
This is
is
what alchemy is about. It's correcting the imperfections, right? You're correcting the imperfections, right? In alchemy, you bring your the cream rises. The cream rises, right? This is a metaphor for cleaning out the impurities, right? This is what humanity is one of the things, alchemic process. Humanity is alchemic process.
sifting out the flaws.
Right.
Then they go to the next level. But that can't happen in the astral world. Can't do that in the astral world. You have to come down here and do it.
Oh yes, you can. It just might take a longer time, but like I said, this is humanity. Humanity is like a quicker way to do it, is what I see it as. Because you see how you narrowed it down to time when the soul doesn't deal with time.
It deals
So
with something.
it's not it's not the only way to do it. It's just like a quicker way to do it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like putting it's like when you put coal under pressure,
Yeah.
right? The soul going to evolve anyway, though, regardless if you come through humanity.
I never heard anyone teach that you can do this process. And I've heard that, yeah, in the astral world, there are universities, there are learning centers. You can
No,
learn and
there are
get.
beings that are evolving without a body. There are beings that are evolving without a body. That a body is not necessary. A lot of times the body is necessary for younger souls, because a younger soul has to go through a body to experience all of the feeling and all that stuff, because that's a part of the soul. The soul is basically a imperfection of the soul. Humanity is an imperfection of the higher realms or existence, or the primal energies. So what happens is some souls go through humanity when they're first beginning. That's like an incubation state, a baby soul incubation, right?
What's
Humanity
a
is like incubation, but
what's
there
a
are
baby?
souls that are evolved, that have evolved, that probably haven't even been in humanity.
But weren't all souls a part of the primordial world?
Right.
Okay, so if all souls was something from the primordial world, how the hell can you have a young soul? What the hell is a
Well,
young
I can say it like this. I can say souls that are not as experienced, because when they go through the illusion of separation, when
Mm-hmm.
parts of the when parts of the primal energy, parts of it delineates from itself, right? And it starts, because that's like a oscillation, or what you call that shit? Like a venting process. It's venting itself. The fact that it breaks off and separates itself from itself, and that part of itself that it breaks off, it appears to be separate from it, right?
But
It
see,
does that to vent the energy of the cosmos, or to just it has to vent, just like how when we talked about how the great receiver is just sucking in all these. The universe needs these things, these suckers, to suck matter from one side of the universe to another. Because if matter fixates itself in one, it'll implode again, right? So it has to vent. Same thing with the primal energies. It'll implode on itself if it didn't vent. So humanity is really a venting. It's like a venting of that energy. You know what I'm saying? It has to vent it.
okay. Well, I'm ready to call it a night. I am tired.
Right.
Yeah.
Get your last words in then.
Last words in. Well, like I say, um, this new moon ritual. This is where I become a storm that just keeps coming and coming and coming and coming with no let up inside. This is the one that's bringing in the energy that's going to wash away all the impurities, that's going to wash away all the adversities. This is the energy that's going to flood into this dimension and wipe away the old and bring in the new.
Right.
It's
Is
just gonna,
that it?
it's, that's it.
Okay, my last word is you have everything necessary to manifest reality how you see it fit. in your reality. You're already doing that. If you have misery in your life, you're doing it. If you have abundance in your life, you're doing it. We have to stop allowing them to take us to separate ourselves from ourselves. This is what they're doing in social engineering and programming. They're separating you from yourself. So to the point where you're not even recognizing aspects of who you are. It's foreign to you now. Aspects of yourself is foreign to yourself right now. From years and years of the Osiris ritual being done on you, where they cut you up into 14 pieces. You get it. You have to. The only way you're going to be able to achieve these higher states of understanding and recognize what's really going on, the self-realization process, the evolutionary growth, is when you bring yourself together and recognize. Don't deny aspects of who you are. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't run away. You can't run away from yourself, but everybody attempting to.
Yeah, when you go in the dark, when you close your eyes and you see the monster coming, don't get scared. Let it come. It's gonna turn into something else.
The whole basis of monsters using intimidation. First of all, listen, think about this. Why does the monster have to intimidate?
Why does the monster have to intimidate?
Right.
Because that's its nature.
No, it's showing you aspect of what vulnerabilities inside of you, right? Listen, the monsters can just eat your ass up. Why do we have to intimidate you first? Why? Because it's trying to make it's trying to get you not to recognize you are the superior being right now. So it has to intimidate, and it's afraid through intimidation. Listen to me. The monsters in every monster flick, you recognize that, right? Why is the monster going trying to intimidate? Why don't you just eat them?
They got monsters that just eat your ass too.
Huh?
They got monsters that just eat your ass.
Yeah, they do. That's because they already gave in. They already gave in to those. You fear. They're running from them. It's like with a dog.
No, this shit.
If you don't run from a dog, it ain't gonna chase you because a dog vibrates on that same frequency of demons. If you don't run from a dog, it ain't gonna get you. It ain't gonna fuck with you. Stand up to a dog. I don't give a fuck how big that motherfucker is.
Mm-hmm.
Because they read why? Because they able to sense fear hormones.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
They
yeah,
can sense it.
They can smell it. They can taste it. They
So
can taste it.
what my last words is the fact that you are the supreme power in your existence. And everything is trying to make you believe that something's separate from that. And you're separated from aspects of yourself. And once you bring them all into consolidation and realize that who you actually are is unstoppable at that point. It's unstoppable.
Doing the magic, and you become that storm that just keeps coming and coming and coming and coming until until it just completely wipes everything in its path away. Just cleans everything out. It just makes the way for a new paradigm.
That part right there. And we'll see y'all next week.
Yep. Good night. Okay.
Chaos. Peace. Chaos.